Serious men of Reddit who have been raped by women, what's your story?
I came very close. At a New Year's party a long time ago. Got extremely hammered and passed out in a bathroom. This girl I'd never met before was offering to help me to the bed downstairs, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up to this girl trying to get me hard. I was so drunk, all I could do was sort of push her off, but she wouldn't stop. Eventually a friend of mine popped his head in and I yelled for him to help me, and he caught on pretty quick and cussed her out until she finally left.
Was blackout drunk at a party, got put to bed by a friend, woke up to a girl bouncing on me. I was 14 and that was my virginity. I didn't feel violated or anything at the time or even today. But I didn't consent at all. Beep edit. Cheers for the awards everyone. A lot are asking how 14-year-olds are drunk. I thought it was common for youngsters to party? Everyone in my town did this, regardless of the school they attended. Maybe it's 'cause if from a poor region of the UK. To the couple asking if I could have given consent. Impossible, I'd been tucked up to bed spark out, woke up to the deed being done before swiftly passing back out. I remember it but had it confirmed by the same friend who put me to bed, as he walked in a couple times during, he thought I'd woken up and done it, naturally. The points on virginity are interesting. Whenever I've said how I lost my virginity, I just said it was that situation but I left out the gory bits.
I had a good friend who was doing a couple of months' time for some driving offences. He specifically asked me to look out for his GF whilst he was inside. One night she called and asked if I could come pick her up as she was upset. Not a worry, we went and grabbed some food, went back to my place, watched a movie, she smoked a bit and I had a few drinks. I made a bed up for her on the couch and went to bed. Woke up with her riding me, I was furious, it was rape. There was zero consent on my behalf. I pushed her off me. The first thing she said was, "Can't wait to tell my friend," that she'd beep his friend whilst he was in prison. Luckily I told him first, he believed me and kicked her ass to the curb. Everyone thought it was funny as hell but it wasn't, it made me feel sick and violated. Twisted beep.
When I was 12, a nurse gave me a routine physical exam and then had me strip naked and lie down on the exam table. Saying it was part of the physical, she groped my testicles and fondled my penis until I got an erection. She then fingered and digitally penetrated my anus. For decades, I assumed it was just an embarrassing incident. It was only when I posted my experience on a Reddit thread and a bunch of people pointed out I had been assaulted that I recognized what happened. I didn't think I'd post about it again, but the attitude of your friend infuriated me because it was the same attitude I held that caused me so much shame. After all, if my dick got hard I must have enjoyed it, right? It's a terrible and demeaning notion, one that's too often internalized by the abused.
I had a date that led to going back to her house and watching movies, smoking some weed and some drinks. To this day, the most beautiful woman I've ever met and super cool, so I didn't wanna rush anything. I remember drinking one drink. And I got intensely lightheaded and everything was super blurry, and I woke up halfway, I guess is what you would call it, more of a daze really, to her on top of me, and I passed back out. The next day she was like, "I'm so happy that happened," and blah blah blah. I didn't speak to her again, and got tested. All is well, no herpes or anything, and it's been 9 months and she doesn't have a kid. So I say all is well. But I definitely didn't consent.
I was 13 or 14 and my buddy asked some friends to come over for a sleepover one weekend. I've been over there a few times already and I enjoyed chilling with him. Yeah, it was fun, and his mom was one of those cool moms and bought us all alcohol and we all got wasted. It was my first time getting drunk and I did not handle it well. Had like, Ike, 4 Mike's hards, lol. Anyway, all my buddies and I were wasted and everyone started to pass out cause everyone was 13 or so and never had a beer in their life. I was the only one awake, and after my friend's mom got blankets for everyone she asked me to come with her. I follow her into her bedroom and she tells me to take off my clothes. I kind of froze up. I didn't know what to do and I just did what I was told. She then took her clothes off and she started to do things to me and told me to do things to her. I didn't know what to do. I was pretty scared, and I just did what I was told. I was a virgin and afterwards I felt pretty disgusted with myself, and still do. Without going into the gory details, I did a lot of stuff that night being brand new to it all. Well, it turned out she did that with a lot of my buddies, all with her son not knowing what was going on. She got arrested and sentenced for it eventually. Now, I'm 24 and married. I have hypersexuality, I think, to counteract what happened cause my wife tells me my sex drive is way too high and that she can't really handle it. I've never told her. I'm too embarrassed. I told her I was a virgin when we met and she was too, so now I'm afraid if I bring it up that I've technically had sex with someone else she would be disgusted with me and leave me.
My girlfriend at the time decided she wanted to get pregnant regardless of my feelings on the subject, and stopped taking her birth control pills. This resulted in me not touching her for a few months, as I wasn't ready to have kids. One day I came home from work, having worked 16-hour shifts for 2 weeks in a row. I just hit the shower and went straight to bed where I literally passed out. I woke an hour later with her straddling me, mid-sexual activity. I said no, but she persisted. I then forcibly removed her from me, and slept in the living room. Suffice it to say, that relationship came to a halt quickly thereafter. Somehow a majority of the people I've told this think it's funny that I think I was raped, because I'm a man and you can't get raped by your girlfriend.
To the men who were clearly violated, saying they were technically raped. Just say rape, because that is what it is. It is okay to call it what it is.
I was really young. Stayed at a friend's house. His older sister and her friend got me into her room. Was going to teach me how to kiss. It turned into them using me as an object. I just froze. I was maybe 12. I was so young that girls weren't something I thought of. I liked sports and boy stuff. I didn't tell a soul about it until I was in my 20s. They told as many people as would listen. I denied it and didn't let up.
I was working at a diner and the girl left me her number. I texted her and she came over after my shift. I had worked 12 hours and got pretty stoned when I got home, leading to me being too tired to have sex that night. She stayed overnight, and I was woken up the next morning to her riding me. It was a weird feeling to wake up having sex you didn't consent to with someone you don't know.
Okay, not me. But my brother said he had sex with a woman probably twice his age when he was, I think, 15. She definitely took advantage of him and his inexperience. He said looking back at she was taking advantage of me, but he just shrugged. It's gross that some women get away with beep like that.
I'm not capable of saying the story here, but just for awareness, my mother, while I was like 8 to 12.
I told my wife, now ex-wife, that I wanted a divorce. I was emotionally done with the marriage, but due to neither one of us being financially able to move out at the time, we continued living together. She didn't want the kids to know yet, so instead of me sleeping on the living room couch, we continued to share a bed. I made it crystal clear that I was okay sharing a bed, but I didn't want to have any type of sexual relationship with her anymore, which went on for several weeks. I was very depressed at the time and was taking nightly cocktails of Tylenol PM, Benadryl, and NyQuil to help me sleep. One night, I took about 15 Tylenol PMs, Benadryl chased with NyQuil. I nearly passed out in the shower, but managed to get out, dry off, get some shorts on and crawl into bed. I was completely out of it. Next morning, I woke up and she started talking about how amazing last night was. I had no idea what she was talking about. So she told me that we had sex. She said she asked if it was okay, and I didn't say no, so she went ahead and did it. I didn't say no because I wasn't talking, on account of being passed out. I told her that she knew I didn't want to do that, but she said that it was good and I enjoyed it, so she didn't see what the big deal was. After all, we were married and it was just sex. No big deal. It wasn't too long after that I attempted suicide. Not necessarily because of this incident, and left for good once I got out of the hospital. I talked to some friends of mine about it. Told them, I think my wife raped me. They agreed that that's exactly what it was. But I decided not to do anything about it. We only talked about it once after that, during a text argument while we were in the process of divorce. She said I was crazy, it wasn't rape, and that I was just mocking actual rape victims.
Obligatory note: this happened to a friend of mine, not to me. I have a gay friend. He's smart, fun to be with, and would generally be regarded as very good looking. He is also rather small, about 5 feet 4 inches or 5 feet 5 inches, I'd guess, though I think he wears lifts so I'm not sure. He's the kind of person with a big personality, so you don't notice his height so much. One thing that it took me a very, very long time to notice is that he is extremely nervous around women, particularly if they are taller and or stockier than he is. He's small and slim. I remarked on this to him a couple of times, but he always brushed it off. Eventually, though, he explained that he'd been raped by a woman at a party. He explained that she was taller and heavier than him, and had a similar female friend. Both of them found him attractive, and he implied to me that one of them clearly had a fetish for smaller men. The friend basically held him down in one of the bedrooms upstairs from the party. I think he'd gone upstairs to use the bathroom, while the woman pulled down his pants and raped him. I believe this was oral and vaginal sex. For obvious reasons I didn't ask about the details. I asked him why he hadn't gone to the police, but he explained that he didn't believe that they would help. I have the impression that he had approached the crisis center at his college, but they seem to have brushed it off. I don't know why. From what I can work out, the experience left him badly traumatized, and he continues to be very uncomfortable around women. He doesn't really talk about it though. I only learned about this because I happened to press him on the issue. It does seem a terrible thing to have to endure, though.
I was a tween in between 6th and 7th grade. Went on a carnival cruise with my family and friends. Had missed a girl, but that's about it. Had tried alcohol before but didn't know my limits. We met up with a group of older kids, maybe 3 to 4 years older, and they had some alcohol, so we hung out and drank a bit. Went to the teen club. Then the hot tub. This girl was talking to me, but no kissing or anything like that. We're tired and our rooms are close, so walking back. Go to my room and she follows me in. Tell her I want to lay down, so she lays down and cuddles. Fall asleep. Make up at some point mid-sex. Wasn't really coherent or sure what due to. We finish and I go back to bed and she leaves. That's how I lost my virginity. Saw her a few times after that and kept in touch for a few months afterwards, but definitely felt like something was stolen from me.
I was 11. A girl from a couple grades above me, tilde 14 years old, invited me over. I had a big crush on her. I was already 6 feet at 11, so I looked older. I get to her house and she has a friend there. Her friend is hanging out by the stairs while we start making out. Her friend walks over, asks me to take out my dick, and I say no. The girl I like then gets off of me and goes behind me and holds me down by my shoulders, and the other girl tries to take off my pants. I push them both off, go around the couch, and go towards the door. The girl I like is blocking the door and won't let me get past her. I probably could have pushed her harder out of the way, but I still liked her. They convinced me to sit back down and then asked me why I didn't want to take out my dick. After explaining, they then started to harass me and make fun of me, saying I wasn't a man because men want their dick touched. After another attempt at the door and being humiliated, I reluctantly took off my pants. The girl I liked went to another room while her friend performed oral sex on me. I didn't like her friend, nor was I remotely attracted to her. At the time I was old enough to get erections but never had an orgasm or ejaculated or anything. I think the friend was expecting me to come, but I never did. I was kind of just waiting for it to be over. After what seemed to be forever, she stopped and then complained that I didn't come, which made me feel even more humiliated. I didn't have a consensual sexual experience until I was 15, and to this day hate blowjobs and can't get off from them. Girls in the past and currently my wife insist on providing them, but it always ends up being awkward and goes nowhere. I try to explain, but they can't understand my experience, and why I just didn't use my strength to force my way out of that house.
When I was 14, my then girlfriend at the time, she was 16, slipped it in raw, pinned me down and continued to ride me after we had used our last condom. I ended up breaking free, and managed to push her off me after continually telling her that it wasn't okay what she was doing. I guess it was her attempt to try and get herself pregnant. BPD is a hell of a psychiatric disorder.
My best friend got me plastered drunk, and when I tried to say no, she said, "Do you really think you can say no to me?" I didn't even know what had happened until she confessed that she had raped me. Edit, this read confusing to me, so to clarify, I don't remember it happening, or telling her no. I was blacked out. She confessed to me years later that she was sober enough to know what she was doing was wrong, knew I couldn't consent, and that I had tried to stop her and she forced me. I only remember waking up naked, with cuts on my back from her fingernails.
It happened, but it's a very serious thing and I'd rather not share it. But to the people who did share it, you're very brave.
When I was 12, I was kidnapped and raped by a woman for 4 months.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more quality content every day.